It's Corso and Catone. Brought to you by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Now for the real deal New England feel, Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Corso. Catone is here. Joe's with us in the booth. You are watching us on YouTube, listening on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you podcast. You can catch us. And when you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Give us that thumbs up, that like, and check out our short reels. You can give us a call and heated hotline as well, 855-313-PATS, P-A-T-S. It's a message line. Leave a message 24/7. Anything's on the table, have a take. Joe's going to pick one, or he will pick something from the mailbag at corso.catone@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts. Got a good one. We're going to hear from one of you in Heated Hotline, and we're going to go back in Weekly Rewind and discuss this Patriots roster and what we have moving forward.
Yeah.
So make sure you're sticking around for that. And, of course, Catone's comments. You never want to miss that. Stay tuned for that. And we're going to go Yankees versus Red Sox. They're going neck and neck to the wire. And I think, I don't know, got some interesting thoughts on that. So, gentlemen, how are we? How are we doing?
Been an interesting week, Chris. With
It
the
really
roster
has.
cutdowns, right? You think about it. Usually, roster cut down is pretty cut and dry. Okay, they're down to 53 guys, but not here. Not this week.
Yeah, we're gonna break down this roster a little bit today, and then tomorrow on the Pats Nation, we're going to do that as well, and we're going to have our final season
12,
picks.
12 wins. 12. Chris
Final
is
season
going,
picks.
Joe's got him at 12 wins, Joe.
And we're going to see if they changed it all. And speaking of the Pats Nation, Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern, we have to announce today that we're going to have our Patriots post-game show. We're going to bring it back at a specialty. It's a specialty basis here. We're not doing it every week, but we're going to do it in week 2 for the Patriots matchup against the Dolphins when they go down to Miami on September 14th. It's going to be within 30 minutes following the show. We will be on to do a live post-game show over in YouTube, and the comments will be open, 855-313-PATS. That'll be open for you to call in, and so make sure you're tuning in for that, and that's going to be on September 14th following that Patriots-Dolphins game. But right now, I think we want to hear from somebody in the nation in Heated Hotline. Yes, Mark, you ready for that?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Joe?
Here we go. This is a Heated Hotline right in from James from Warwick. James says, I can't stand listening to these people anymore continue to talk about how the Patriots are going to win 10 or 11 games. This
Amen.
roster sucks so bad. They have one player that's in the top 10 at his position, and he's a pansy ass. That can't stay on the field with his hamstring injury.
Wow.
They got
There's more.
There's more. I don't know what all these people are talking about. But this pathetic roster, you can tell that this roster is pathetic. Even Vrabel thinks so. Please set everyone straight. Love the show. Thanks, James.
James, thank you. Who's it from Warwick?
James from Warwick.
No, I like that. Joe, he hits a lot of points. My God, pathetic and so on. And is he right? Let's talk about it.
Well, I think he's right. You know, why not? Right?
Well, you better bring more to the table than that. Jesus Christ. I think he's right.
He calls your guy a pansy. You loved him. He loved that draft pick. He loved him. He wanted him over a number 1 wide receiver. Him and the dinosaur, Belichick, the dinosaur.
He's, of course, talking about Gonzalez. And
we assume he's got to be talking about him. Who else?
Mark, I don't think he's going to play week 1.
Chris, he hasn't even practiced yet. Could it be that he's like going to milk this because he's looking for his next big contract?
A Sauce Gardner situation?
A Sauce Gardner situation? Is that what we're going to run into this year with this guy? Because Vrabel won't put up with that. Vrabel will dump his ass. He won't be like the Jets. He ain't going to reward him with a contract. He'll say, okay, walk. Bye.
It could be. I mean, it could be, yeah, because, I mean, this has been the knock on him coming in, is how tough is he actually? I mean, it's just fun. Today, we're recording on Friday.
He's got skill, obviously.
This makes 5 weeks today. that he's been out with a hamstring. Would they have to? What was it torn? They had to have surgery and put it back together again. And I didn't grab the clip, but Vrabel earlier in the week it all's kind of making sense now because he alluded to it. He's talking about his injury and he's saying, well, you can only ride the bike so long, you can only do the treadmill so long, meaning you got to get friggin' pads on, you got to get back in shape, football shape. He's
digging them. That's a dig. That's like, remember when Parcells said, when they asked him about Terry Glenn, and he said, she's doing okay.
She's doing okay. Remember?
You couldn't get away with that now. Mark, in those days.
Maybe it is a Sauce Gardner situation where last year Gardner was looking for a contract and he would avoid tackling. He would avoid a lot of stuff during the games, and he had a down year because of it.
Yep.
Could this be? I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. I am going to say this. James is right about the roster sucks. So if that's the case, you're in even more trouble. If your top corner is not going to play, is going to milk it and play this type of a game because you don't have the talent for that.
They have a bad roster. They just have a bad roster. I mean, this is what Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal had to say about that this week, and I'm glad that James wrote in because then it gives me a chance to play this.
Giants game was just more evidence of what I talked about last week, which is my, number one fear about this team and why I've downgraded them is they have zero depth. There's so many places all over this roster that if one guy goes down, there's like nothing behind them and they're screwed. Like, for example, like Robert Spillane or, Will Campbell, they don't have much. So that's the stuff that scares me because, unless they have the greatest injury luck of all time, they're going to sustain some major injuries, and that's where it's going to get exposed. And against the Giants, I mean, their backups and third stringers are going up against the Giants, and they stunk. I mean, they've gotten boat raced, have not looked good in the last two preseason games going up against backup and third stringers.
And that's across the board, Mark. That's at so many positions.
Yeah. So, Chris, here's the thing. What did these people think was going to happen? How much could you replace that? This roster was so defunct of talent. So Vrabel tried to get guys that could start. And he brought in a bunch of free agents they drafted, but brought in a lot of different free agents, especially on defense, that he thought could start. But how much can you bring in through free agency? You can't bring in backups too. Like, you got to start somewhere. We started with
right.
who I think I can put on the field as a starter and reestablish this franchise. But you can't also establish second. You can't bring in second line guys. You only got so much money and so much that you can bring in 1 year. Like, he knows what.
Yeah, he knows his roster sucks.
But he had nothing. He started.
Mark, you want to talk about nothing?
No.
You want to talk about nothing? Okay. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
Since 2020, okay? 2020 draft had Duggar, Uche, Jennings, Asiasi, Keene. Remember that draft? Owino, Haran, whatever. There's only, out of that draft, Duggar's left, Jennings left, and Owino was left.
And Jennings and Jennings and Duggar, I think if they could have dumped them, they would have dumped them.
Right. And Owino, I'm not sure if he's made the grade
yet.
You
gave Owino that contract, Chris. I don't think he was not
right.
In retrospect. We probably should have let him walk because he's not worth the money we gave him.
So that's 3 guys out of the 10 they drafted. That. Then 2021, you ready? Mac Jones gone. Bondmore still on the team. Perkins gone. McGroon gone. Bledsoe gone. Sherman gone. Nixon gone. Ramondre Stevenson. So from that draft, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the 8 guys, you got Stevenson and Bondmore left. And I will even argue that Bondmore still got some things to prove, too.
But yet you gave him more money.
The Giants game was just more evidence of what I talked about last week.
That was That was the 21 draft. 22 draft, okay? This is the worst one. Cole Strange, gone.
Ooh.
Thornton, gone. Jack Jones, gone. P.S. Strong, gone. Zappi, gone. Harris, gone. Roberts, Hines, Stubler, gone. Marcus Jones is the only guy on the team. That's it. That's the 22 draft. 23?
And the 22 draft, Chris, you take a quarterback with the 15th pick.
Right. And the 23 draft, Christian Gonzalez, Keon White, Mapu, Booty, Barringer, and Demario Douglas. Those 6 guys.
You got guys on the roster, though.
Right. Ryland, Sidney Soul, Mafe, Jake Andrews. Those guys are all gone. The linemen are gone. That was 2023. And then last year, finally, 2024, you got, other than Drake May, everybody else is gone. Polk, Wallace, Robinson. Well, Robinson, Baker. Oh, Wallace is still on the team. Sorry. Baker, Dial, Milton, Bell.
Think about that.
Sock.
No, but think about this, Chris. Since 2020, through the draft, what do you got? You wonder why our offensive line is in shambles. What do you got? 2 offensive, other than last year. I get what they did this past year in 24. But before that, what do they have? 2 offensive linemen on the roster from all those drafs?
Yeah, I mean, they got.
Or was it just a Owinu?
They got Owinu, and they got what's his name? Didn't Wallace make this team too?
Okay,
I think he made the team.
That's all they got left.
That's it. But they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 guys in 5 drafts. 11 are on this team. And I'll say it, it's Belichick's fault.
And of the 11, Chris, only
Mark, you're gonna let that slide?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm gonna get to that in a second, Joe. Don't you worry about that, because he pleasures him. He pleasures himself with Belichick.
Hurry up, because we gotta go to break. We got a lot to get to today.
Well, I don't care about break. You roll out statues and everything else for him, for crying out loud. He couldn't draft. He's drafted from the Little Sisters of the Poor.
And by the way, Peppers was released today. Did we fail to mention that? Peppers was released today.
So listen, Chris, it's just pathetic. The drafting, you wonder why we're in the position we're in, right? You wonder why we're in the position that we're in. Well, that's why we're in the position that we're in. Now, I just got to read this for you, 10 seconds, because I know we're up against it. Today, the release of Peppers, your buddy, Jawan Bentley, goes on X.
Who's he play for?
I don't think he's playing for anybody, is he?
Right, exactly.
He goes crazy, right? So somebody responds to him and says, feeling it was strictly scheme fit. No? Question mark. And Bentley responds, where great players can't play in it, must be a hell of a scheme. Oh, you shut your mouth. Imagine he's running his mouth. He's not even on an NFL roster, Chris.
I don't have anything to say. Bentley stinks. Bentley stinks, and the reason Peppers, I mean, Mike Vrabel hates this roster. You and I both said it when he was hired in February on this show. We can pull the tape. You and I both talked about this. Everybody kept talking about the offense, right? Yeah. And I said to you, when I said he's going to come in, forget the offense. He's going to go watch the tape on this defense, and he's going to clean the entire friggin' house out. Every captain is gone. Bentley, Peppers, Cardona, Andrews, Brissett, Dietrich Weiss, gone. And most of those guys are defensive guys.
Yeah.
He couldn't stand this roster. He hated this roster. So what the hell is Elliott Wolf still here for? You tell me.
I don't know.
They stink. It's a bad roster, everybody. So, when we get to our picks tomorrow on the Pats Nation, I think you will be reflected in that. So James,
I think was right on the money, Chris, with his write-in. Today.
He's right. You're dead right, James. We appreciate the write-in, and thank you for that. But Heated Hotline was presented by Corso Law Group, CorsoLawGroup.com. We come back, going to go back in the week, weekly rewind. Got a lot to discuss. No flipping.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. Whether it's a traffic ticket or more serious issue, talk with these expert attorneys. CorsoLawGroup.com.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. All right, well, let's get into it in more depth. Let's get into this roster a little bit, talk offense, defense, quarterback, all that. We're going to do it in Weekly Rewind, and we are going to do it right now. I'm getting it. Going back through the week, about a Weekly Rewind.
What think it's continuing to build and grow, and now we transition into a new phase of game planning and looking at a different defense and working through the show team and the looks that they need on all three phases to kind of take the next step here to start to win. So I think that it's been good, and now it'll be the next challenge here to take the next step of game planning and understanding how to prepare early in the week and build as the week goes on.
That, of course, was Mike Vrabel talking about Drake Maye earlier this week, and what's the next step now, Mark? So let's start there. And we don't have to take too long on this, but obviously he's the guy. He's the guy.
I'm kidding.
Is he the guy, though, from what you've seen? Is he ready?
Listen, whether you think he's ready or I think he's ready, he's going to have to be ready. So listen, I think the kid's ready, Chris. Look what's around him. I mean, you got garbage around him. Really, when you want to be blunt. But I'm going to get into that in Catone's comments. But listen, Chris, it's not an easy offense to learn. You got to be on the same page as your receivers. You got to be reading things similarly. You got to understand what's in front of you. You got to understand coverage. It's that's what McDaniels requires you to do. Brady was the best to ever do it. They surrounded him with guys that were on the same page as him. I don't know, Chris, if you and I honestly can say right now, if we want to be honest, is he the right guy? I don't know. Because I think you got to see the first few weeks and see what this offense looks like. And we can determine, is it him or is it just the talent is so bad you can't put it on him?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you can make a fair judgment right now. At least I don't think I can. Maybe you can. I mean, I know you have a different perspective being a defensive coordinator type of guy. You might have a different perspective. What do you think?
It just depends on what McDaniels thinks at this point. Does he like, meaning this? Is he gonna? Are we putting the training wheels on this kid? Is that what's going to happen when he starts calling plays? I mean, you're going to know it right away. I mean, you're going to see the play calling against the Raiders, and you're going to see that next week. We'll break that game down, but you're going to see immediately what they think of Maye and where he is in his progression. Because if it's a lot of bubble stuff, if it's not a lot under center where there's not a lot of PAP, play action pass, or his back is not turned, I mean, you're going to see little indicators. What do I think of the offensive line? What does he think of the actual quarterback play? Are there 5-step drops? Are there 7-step drops? Is he going to let him do it? That's what we'll think. So I guess only time will tell now.
Well, remember, Chris, you mentioned to me earlier about, before McDaniels was even named OC, about filling the bucket, right? Remember when he was on that podcast with Edelman, he was talking about filling the bucket.
Yeah.
And so is that what he's doing here with this guy?
I would have to guess that's what you're going to see. You're going to see baby steps. Of course, you could always play this guy.
I'm sure all of you have probably met my agent at some point. If not, probably will. But he was like, TD, you're not going to believe it. I was like, what? He's like, you're coming to Boston. And he was ecstatic. It was something that I had a feeling was going to happen, something that I was hoping was going to happen, especially with where they were ranked in the claims order. So it's very excited to get here. I've had a lot of prior coaches who have been a part of this organization before, know a lot of the coaches and people in the business, so had a lot of good insight with that and was really ready to get here. Obviously a young guy who was drafted high, saw him a little bit in college, awesome talent, arm talent, really big dude. I mean, bigger now that I've seen him in person, you don't really realize.
Tommy Cutlets.
That was Tommy. That's Tommy DeVito, the number 3 call right now, currently. The number 3 quarterback on the New England Patriots signed this week. Mark.
The agent is a character. You ever see his agent? He's a character.
Oh, right? He's gonna love it. He's happy to be there. And I think he'll beat out Dobbs to number 2 eventually.
Eventually. I mean, listen, I think they were so impressed, Chris, in that final preseason game. Like, he was like 15 for 17, 3 touchdowns. Like, they went in and claimed him just based off watching him, I think, in that preseason game.
I think it's more to do with how unimpressed they are with Dobbs.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah,
he hasn't been good. So we'll see what happens with Drake Maye and how much they're going to feed him and give him to do. Because there's all setting protections too, and dealing with that offensive line. You're going to know right away. Speaking of the offensive line, Mark. Look, you're going to play 2 rookies. I mean, the depth chart, as I see it right now.
So do they play the kid, the other rookie at guard? Do you think he'll be the starting left guard?
Listen, I don't know how you can't have Wilson on the field to start the season. Like if you're not starting Wilson because he's a rookie and you don't want to have 2 rookies out there, to me that's the wrong decision. You get them out there and you let them go through their growing pains together, and by mid-season, hopefully you're going to start to see something. I mean, is that why Caden Wallace is still on this team?
Well, that's what I'm guessing. That's got to be why he's still on the team.
Well, that's a bad reason because to me, I get they're both on the left side, but Wilson was one of the best linemen they had all summer, in my opinion.
No,
I mean, if you're not going to play him at center, and you're that upset about whatever was going on, but listen, it's going to be Bradbury. To me, it's got to be Wallace, Wilson, Bradbury, Owinu, and Moses. To me, that's going to be your starting 5, I think.
And maybe, Chris, they kept Wallace on this roster because you still don't know. Can Moses last a full season, Moses? I don't know.
Maybe he's tapping out every drill.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. So maybe he's there as insurance for either guard position. That's why he's on this team, right? Whatever.
Well, you got to think Vadarian Lowe is there for that, too. And it's again, the lack of depth. You have nothing. And we're not even sure about their starting end. We don't even know what Campbell's going to give you, what Wilson and Brad. I mean,
Bradbury, Chris, has to be the starter. I mean, I think Wilson will be the starter next year. I think Bradbury's going to hold that for a year, and then next year Wilson will be your starting center. But you have to figure they're not going to move Bradbury out of center this year unless he gets hurt. Then you could kick Wilson over. But Bradbury's going to be your center.
Man, it's just you go back to that list I read to you about 2000 to 2004 drafts.
There's no lineman on it that you could say made the team, Chris. How is that possible?
I just don't think people understand how bad of a position they're starting from Vrabel's crew. Like, you just don't understand how deficient this roster really is. When you go back and you look at those drafts and you see what was pissed away, and how can you possibly in the 2024 draft have nobody left but Drake Maye? No one. It's like punting on a year and you expect to be a playoff team? How? It's impossible.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible.
I mean, schemes are fine, but your coaches are going to account for 3 more games. That's all. You can maybe say 4. I don't know. But the roster sucks so bad. This offensive line, you went into this season with a bad offensive line and a bad receiving core, and you still have an unknown bad offensive line and a bad receiving core, Mark. Talk about the receivers now. Because Bourne gets released, Baker gets released. So what's left?
So we got left is what we kind of predicted. We thought Bourne would be on the pup, right? Because he hadn't played since he got rolled up on, but he didn't end up on the pup. They put him on the roster at first, and Baker. But so the guys that are left, Chris, Diggs, Douglas, Booty, Hollins, the rookie Williams,
and Chisholm,
which you and I said that was going to be the top 6, right? We predicted it, and we said we thought Bourne would be on pup, and we thought Baker.
We thought Polk would be on pup. We thought Bourne would be on pup.
Polk we knew was on
Baker
IR.
Would get released.
We thought Baker may possibly get released or maybe save him for special teams, but
right,
it pretty much worked out the way we predicted it would.
What's funny to me, and I know you got some things to talk about. You want to wait on Bourne, but what's funny to me is the big deal that everybody's making. And we can get to that if you want me to wait on that.
Yeah.
The big deal everybody's making about this Bourne release.
Yep. Yes, please.
Okay.
Wait 5 minutes.
The bottom line is this again, it just goes back to the roster again. And it's at the receiver, it's at the key positions. Now, great. Your best room on offense is your running back room.
Not only let's say this. Not only do you not have anybody left pretty much from the drafts, we're not even getting into the guys that were on the board when they drafted the guys they took.
Yeah, I mean, we need
I
2-3
that's
weeks for that.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
If we wanted to go back and look at our draft notes, and you actually looked at the guys that were on the board.
I can't look at my draft notes anymore. There's
took.
throw up all over them. There's throw up stains all over the 5 years worth of draft notes.
Listen, the two most glaring examples of how bad they were draft wise was last year. You trade down to take Polk over McConkey. I thought I thought he was going to break a television, but he didn't. He held his composure because he loved McConkey in the combine. Loved him. And we've traded out of the position to go get Polk.
Or half the guys you've been wanting.
Right.
I mean, even last year's draft, even that draft to say, even this year's draft to say,
then,
we could have got, you could have done something to maneuver to get the Ohio State wide receiver, and you still could have had a Banks. You still could have had an offensive line. You know what I mean?
They could have taken Luther Burden, who I think is going to be really good. The year before, could you have tried to trade up to get Brian Thomas Jr.? He drops to 20.
Right.
Yeah, you probably could have. 21, why not? You could have.
Smith Najaga over Gonzalez.
Drops down to the high, below Gonzalez. You don't take him. Smith Najiba catches 100 catches last year. I was screaming in that draft.
Was.
And the epitome of futility is N'Keal Harry.
Yes.
The epitome of think about the guys in that draft: Chris McLaurin, A.J. Brown, D.K. Metcalf, Samuel. Think about all the guys in that draft. We passed on them all.
All of them.
For him.
Every single one.
Every one of them went after N'Keal Harry. It's amazing to me. So when you want to talk about not only the guys we drafted, who we passed on is insanity. Insanity. The corner, McDuffie from Kansas City, Chris. If you took him when you were supposed to instead of Cole Strange, there would have been no need for Gonzalez.
Right.
And then you could have taken Smith Najiba
Yeah.
because you would have had an all-pro corner.
It's just Belichick screwed this team up so bad in the drafts from 2000 to 2024, and then the crew after him even worse. Elliott Wolf and Mayo and whoever the hell was doing things last year.
I'm convinced Elliott Wolf's got pitches on somebody. He's got pitches.
I'll tell you what I would do. We'll go to break on this. You want as a trade? I'll concede it right now. From everything I'm hearing about this kid, you call Philadelphia and say, we'll give you Gonzalez. We'll give you Gonzalez, and we'll give you next year's one. Give us A.J. Brown right now.
You think they'd pull the trigger?
I would do it if I were Philly right now because they're not going to end up. I don't know. I mean, at some point, he's going to want out of there because they're not going to throw him the ball enough. At some point, they're going to throw it, Yeah. And Gonzalez is a Pro Bowl. He's a Pro Bowl corner.
He's a Pro Bowl corner.
But I've seen enough. I've seen enough about the pansy crap. He's not going to play in week one, and he's going to milk this stupid thing because of his contract. Get him out. Get out. I don't care. That's it.
Okay. Wow, that's a big switch from the night he was drafted. Wow.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I like the player. If he had any balls and got on the goddamn field, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. But get a set of eggs. You got a hamstring injury for 5 weeks. Get on the goddamn field and stop playing. That's what Vrabel wants to say, but he can't say it. So I'll say it. That's it.
No, you're right, Vrabel. Yeah, you're right. We're going to go to break on that point, Joe. Break.
This portion of Weekly Rewind was presented by the Pats Nation. Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to have our season picks, more of this stuff, and so many other things. Make sure you're tuning in. When we come back, going to continue a Weekly Rewind, talk a little defense, and so much more. No flipping.
Sundays are for football. And here in New England, that means it's the Pats Nation with Corso and Catone. Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m.
Keon White has fallen behind. Not only he's fallen behind Kayvon Chason at defensive end. I wonder if he's also behind Elijah Ponder because Keon White and to Vrabel's credit, I saw him. I think it was the practice before the Giants preseason game. I saw Vrabel working one-on-one with Keon White on his pass rush moves. I mean, I will say he's more assignment sure this year. There were some freelancing problems the past couple years. He's graded out well for me in the preseason games, but he doesn't have any pass rush moves. He's just a power guy, where Elijah Ponder's got a lot more juice to him, a lot more agility, a variety of pass rush moves. So to me, he's definitely been ascending, and I would be shocked if he's not on this team as an undrafted free agent.
That was Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal before the cuts happened, talking about Keon White.
Ponder is on the team.
Did make the team, as well as obviously Chason. But let's start there, Mark, talking about the defense. Okay, that's why I wanted that played. What the hell? I mean, you and I have been kind of hinting and inching to this for the last couple of weeks about Keon White.
He's a one-trick pony, Chris. He doesn't have any moves. He just does like Bedard refers to it. He's just tries to overpower guys. It's a speed rush, power rush, whatever it is. He doesn't have any moves. He's a one-trick pony. That don't work in the NFL, Chris. Vrabel's working with them on moves before the game. Vrabel must have took a look at him and said, "What the hell is this? Like, he's a train wreck."
Well, I had said in the offseason leading up into the off season and the whatever workout.
You thought he could be a 12, 13 sack guy.
Yeah, and I said that this defense is going to need him to be that.
Yeah.
For them to be what people think, top 10 defense, all this crap we've been hearing about this defense. This is a kid that's going to have to make that jump, and he's going to have to become a 10 to 14 sack kind of guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Not even 14, but 10, 12 sacks, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, now I'm looking at this situation, and it's pissing me off, too. And the player is pissing me off because it's another one of these guys, okay, that thinks his shit doesn't stink before they've done anything. And he done a goddamn thing.
He ran his mouth, Chris, about coaching. Remember? Well, I finally getting coaching. Like, he ran his mouth. And now
he ran it really well. And I accepted that. And that's fine. I accepted you saying that stuff about that coaching staff last year because they were a mess. That coaching staff was a mess.
Yep.
You know? You can't say that anymore.
No.
You're going to talk about Terrell Williams that way or Mike Vrabel when Vrabel's had been responsible for some good pass rush guys that he's developed over down in Tennessee. So the fact that I'm hearing Greg Bedard, his assessment, talking about Elijah Ponder is ahead of him,
that's pretty bad.
That takes this defense out of the top 10.
Well, let me ask you this, though, Chris. So you said, you thought White would be responsible. You probably need him to get 10 to 12 sacks for you to be a top 10 defense. So what if Chazon's the guy that gets the 10 to 12 sacks instead of White?
I just don't think he's good enough.
Okay.
I don't think he's physically gifted or good enough to get you that.
Okay. All right.
That's a 5-6 sack kind of guy.
Okay.
Taking advantage of preferable blocking. For people, preferable matchups. Let me just say it that way. That's Chason. Keon White is physically a stud, physically gifted. Like you said, he's built like Superman. I think you said that last week. So what again, another step back I think we're taking. You were looking at this defensive front, and I think they're good. But the question marks are, again, is Christian Barmore going to be fully healthy? What can he give you on first down?
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know. And the other thing with this defense we don't know about is, so Landry, they kind of kept Landry under wraps.
Yeah.
In the preseason, just because he's played for Vrabel. Vrabel knows what he's got in Landry, and I think they kept him under wraps. Made sure he was healthy. Make sure he's good to go week 1. We don't want to take any chances with him. He's a guy, Chris. They said the few times that they really let him loose in practice, he was flying by guys.
Yeah.
Like, he's a guy that could get you 12, 13 sacks, Chris.
I'm hopeful if he can get back to that form, yeah.
If he gets back to that form, Chris, he's going to have to do that for you, Landry. He has to.
And we still have question marks on Milton Williams. Can he play more snaps than he played in Philadelphia? He's never going to live up to this contract. Just people need to know that. He's not going to, because I don't know if he's an every down player. I don't know if he can handle that load.
It's very difficult, Chris, to sign defensive linemen from Philadelphia because of the rotation of guys they have. They got like 10 guys that they just rotate in that line. They got the deepest defensive line in football, and they just rotate guys in. And so it's very difficult to pay the money you paid for a guy from Philly and think what he showed you in a reduced snaps can be expanded. Like to your point, I don't know if it can. That's just the system Philly has. So he was a perfect fit in their system, but nobody else has that system, Chris. Nobody else has the depth that they have at that position.
It's what they run, and so
they run that.
So that's that level. Now you go to the next level, or let's go even 2 levels now. We'll talk about the corners and the safeties. So this is what you thought was set is not set. Now they released Peppers today, but they signed Duggar. And is Vrabel on the reason for Duggar?
Kyle Duggar, why is he still a good fit for this roster?
Because I think he's feeling better, and thought he had some really good snaps against New York, and I think he can help us. And obviously,
New York
find a
nobody.
Talk to him about that. Have talked to him about that. We'll continue to talk to him about that, and provide value to the football team.
Well, what's he going to say, Chris? I kept him because of his contract. He can't say that.
And that's it. I mean, you can hear it in his voice. He can't stand this ride. He doesn't like this roster.
The Giants had practice squad guys on the field. He did good things against New York. He was playing against practice squad guys.
First of all, he's not going to. Okay, so they released Peppers today, and I think he was going to be due $3 or $4 million. And versus they couldn't find a trade partner with Duggar. That has to be what happened. And so they had to eat that $11 million they're going to give him. You were right last week. You said $11 million. And
they're not going to. They weren't going to eat that.
And they were going to eat that. So he's on this team because he and Peppers are pretty much the same guy. Well, I don't think they're the same guy. I think Peppers is better. But the point is, they don't fit in this system. They're box safeties. They play down. They play in the box. They can't play cover 2. They can't play too deep. And this is what people are talking about. Duggar is not going to be a starter on this team. It's going to be Hawkins, and it's going to be Woodson. Woodson's going to be the free safety. Hawkins is going to be the strong safety, sort of strong safety in this system. It's too deep. They're going to play a lot of man coverage. They're not going to be expected to come down a lot in the run game. This is what happens if one of those guys gets hurt.
Again, goes back to what you played earlier.
And one of them's a rookie.
Chris, it goes back to what you played earlier in the show on depth. What Bedard was talking about, depth. That's what you got a problem. You're going to have to be the healthiest team in the league all year in order to win games.
When does that happen?
It doesn't. So this kid Woodson, Chris, when he was drafted, you and I criticized the pick, not realizing that he would be
I said that he's a free safety. He is a true guy that can play in the free safety.
I don't think thought he would be so much of a better scheme fit than Duggar and Peppers. Like, I think you and I thought Duggar could adjust. He was supposedly an athlete coming out of college. Like, I think you and I thought Duggar could probably adjust to the scheme and to the system, but he couldn't. Therefore, Woodson jumped him because
you don't realize how bad Duggar was watching balls go over his head.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
That's the problem. You know what I mean?
You're thin. You're thin everywhere.
Yeah.
And to say nothing about corner, we've already
corner, Chris. Let me ask you this though. So say Gonzalez. It's not a contract thing. He's not going to pull a Sauce Gardner. Let's say he gets himself on the field week 1 or 2, and he gives you a real good All Pro type of year, and Carlton Davis gives you a good year. Hypothetically, you could have 2 shutdown corners.
Yes. No? Yeah. You'll have a good corner room if that
hypothetically,
happens.
if everything plays out perfectly, which we got big questions about Gonzalez, but if those questions are answered, you could potentially have 2 of the better one of the better starting corner combinations in the league, Chris. No? Top 5?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Look, there's no question that Gonzalez is a top 5 corner in this league. He is. I mean, he is. But is he tough enough to be if he's tough enough to get on the field, be on the field, stay on the field? He hasn't shown that yet. Let's see.
That I don't know.
And it's feeling like we're not going to see him week 1, which is really disappointing.
Here's
Disappointing.
my prediction. He'll be on the field for limited snaps week 1. Week 5.
So annoying.
Listen to me. Week 5, he goes down with the same hamstring or allegedly same hamstring, and you don't see him the rest of the season. He goes on IR. That's my prediction. Because I think, like you said, it's more protecting himself for the contract.
Well, then if that happens, then win total is going to go even lower and lower.
That's my prediction. He don't play the season, Chris. Gonzalez will have an injury or at least the appearance of an injury, and he'll shut himself down. Him and his agent will shut him down for the year.
Well, we'll see. That should reflect then tomorrow on the Pats Nation when you give your picks.
I hope I'm wrong. And he has an all-pro year because I think they need him and Davis on the field to compensate for the rest of their deficiencies. But we'll see.
Yeah. So we'll see with your picks because you had him at 9. So let's see. Let's see if this sort of thing affects it. So all those out there of the top 10 defense, I don't know. Put a pin in that for a minute. We don't know what the hell they're going to be. There's so many question marks on this team, which I guess happens with a 3-4 win team 2 years in a row and has drafted so poorly as they did. But
should have had the number 1 pick in the draft this past year.
Oh,
think about that, right?
Yeah,
that's how bad we were, Chris. We should have been picking 1.
We'll pay attention. Weekly Rewind was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm, corsolawgroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. We come back. Mock's ready to go. You're ready to go. I got to
roll my sleeves up. I got to roll them up.
Catone's comments is next.
No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Call or go online to corsolawgroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help.
Time for Catone's comments!
Listen, I am so disgusted and upset with this local media, okay? Because all I heard leading up to the draft was you're going to build from the trenches. You're going to build from the trenches. You're going to build from the trenches. And, okay, so they went to the draft. What did they do? They was it 3rd pick in the draft? 4th pick in the draft? They take a left tackle. 3rd round, they take Wilson, another offensive lineman. Later in the draft, they take another offensive lineman. Okay.
Big free agency signings.
Yeah. Moses, they keep building the free agent. They keep building the offensive line, and then they go to the defensive line, and they go to linebackers, and they're building the trenches. Okay, you're building the trenches. You got a quarterback on a rookie contract. Okay. This is your one shot. You got a rookie contract for 4 years, 5 years on a rookie deal. Most teams take that. And they put as many weapons around that person as possible because it's a rookie deal. And maybe you go out and overpay for a receiver for 2 or 3 years to try to see what you got and what you can do with this rookie deal. And then you figure it out after that. But you put all your chips in that basket and see what you got. Not the Patriots. No. They screw up by hiring a stiff coach. They got Elliott Wolf, who's a stiff, running the draft room before they bring in Vrabel's regime. Okay? The one area that Chris and I screamed has to be upgraded. I've been screaming it for years. It's the wide receivers in the wide receiver room. And nobody thought it was a problem. The Badads, the Currents. Listen, it's all revisionist history. Now they want to rewrite history. No, they were okay. I think one of them, their exact words were, it's a serviceable room. We need to build from the trenches. That room ain't serviceable. What's serviceable? It's trash. The room's trash. Serviceable. By NFL standards, that room's not serviceable. You got a bunch of 3s and a bunch of 4 receivers in a room. And you got a busted out old whatever he is, donkey, I'll call him, Diggs, trying to recapture his youth. He's way past his prime. What do you think? He's gonna be a 1? Diggs is not a 1. He's not a 1. I don't even know if he's a 2. I don't even think he's a 2 anymore. He's more like a high 3. Maybe he'll shock us and surprise us. But that's all you got in the room. You got nothing else. You drafted another guy, Williams. He can't use his hands. Chris and I are waiting to see him get off the line when he gets jabbed by a real 1 or 2 corner, not some practice squad guy. You ain't running by a practice. You're not playing practice squad guys come week 1. You're not just running by somebody with your legs. Let's see what he does, because when they put the pads on, you really didn't hear much from him. He was open, guy. They missed him. Yeah, but he was still open against 3s. When he was up against 1s and 2s, you never heard from him. So put that down too. Everybody would love to pick. Oh, we got the steal of the draft, they said. What steal of what draft did you get? You should have took Luther Burden. Now, today, or this week, I'm sorry, not today, this week, Kendrick Bourne gets released. What is the obsession with Kendrick Bourne in this part of the country with this media group? Kendrick Bourne gave you nothing the whole time he was here. What? He gave you a little bit in flashes his first season here. Then he gets hurt. Never been the same since. If he had anything that anybody thought was any good, there's no way for the amount of money we signed him for, San Francisco would have let him out of their wide receiver room. San Francisco knew what he was. No one's a better evaluator of offensive talent than Shanahan. Nobody. He just gifted you somebody for cheap money, a wide receiver, because he's good. Shanahan knew what he was. That's why he let him walk. Everyone said, oh, San Francisco would be interested in bringing Bourne back. Well, he's been on the waiver wire now. He cleared waivers. Did San Francisco pick the telephone up? San Francisco didn't pick the telephone up for Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne is a stiff. He's a stiff. And I'm sick of all these media people rewriting history with the wide receiver room. Now, all of a sudden, they're on the wide receiver room is not good. Well, where were you 3 months ago? And then Bourne wants to act like, well, I asked to be released. That was me. I did that. Okay, you did that? Really? Same thing with X. Oh, I asked for my release. Who the hell are you two guys? Really, Chris? I'm so disgusted. But I'm more disgusted with the media around here, wanting to rewrite history. Like all of a sudden now, the roster has no depth. It's depleted. What the hell did you think you saw last year? And what the hell made you think that we made enough moves to make this team a 10-win team? I don't care what their schedule is, Chris. Look at the roster.
It's news to me, and I mean, I think that we just, again, try to put the roster together. I mean, I guess when it doesn't work out, you break up with somebody, your girlfriend doesn't want to be with you, and then you say, well, I don't want to be with you either. I'm not going to get into all that.
So was that?
I just said I'm not going to get into it. It was just like, Like, we're not going to go back and forth here. We're trying to build a roster.
What is this,
you got to move on from some guys. You make connections with guys. You coach them. They earn opportunities. They get more opportunities. They take advantage of them. And that's kind of how these things go.
Can he say it any more clearly?
That was Mike Vrabel about.
Can he say it any more clearly? The guy sucked.
Right.
We gave him opportunities. He sucked.
He's telling you right now, we released him. And he wants to tell you that he asked for it after because we broke up now, and now you want to revisionist and like Mark's talking about, say, well, no. I broke up with you. No. I did it in 5th period math class. No. It was 7th period gym class when I passed through that. No. Like,
Joe, it sounds like he's got a little experience with this.
He knows.
Joe.
That's another show right there.
Yeah.
That's another show, Joe.
I had different periods. I would break up with people for different. Anyway, so different teachers. You got to be strategic in these things. Listen, that right there. Did you like 2 things I take from that audio? One, how Mike Vrabel just is disgusted with this entire roster completely, just in his general demeanor. And 2. How bad does your roster have to be if the biggest story of one of the big stories of the week and listening to these stooges keep saying on the media why wouldn't you keep him? I mean, I don't understand. This just tells you that they want to punt on the seed. This just tells you they don't want to do this and they don't want to do that because they're not keeping guys that can maybe help you. Well, if you think that Kendrick Bourne should have been kept because he's a guy that you think can help you, then you need help. Then you got to go find some help somewhere in some sort of freaking 12-step program on how to live in life because that dude stinks. He stinks. Kendrick Bourne stinks. Other than his nice smile and his friggin', I love being around and he's a good guy. Great. Otherwise, you stink. I don't know what else to say. Mark, you're right. You're right. And Vrabel thinks he stinks too. He's sitting there saying, I don't even believe we're talking about this right now.
Yeah. Vrabel, listen, you also, Chris, get that Vrabel, he's got no more patience with the media over here. Like, he's disgusted. Like, really? Come on, guys. Like, you honestly think, like, the
Bill's back.
Oh, that's why he's excited, Joe. That's why, Joe.
There it is. But I was going to tell you that to like trim it down, that pause, but that's all you needed was that pause at the beginning of like him trying to answer the question. If we could ever hear the question, but he's like,
Well, it's just about him, about Bourne. Why release him? Yeah. I mean, it's Mark, you're 100% right. Like,
listen,
and the people around here are putting a lot of weight on a lot of suck players. Let me tell you, Dogger, Epps, freak. Who are these? Baker.
I got a lot of respect for guys like, don't get me wrong, we get a lot of respect for Bedard and Curran. We get a lot of respect for those guys. We do. But they all missed the boat, Chris, with this wide receiver room and how to rebuild a roster with a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. Like, they missed the boat on
I think so.
Like, at some point, next year we're going to fix this, and then next year we'll move on to the receiver room. No. That's the wrong approach.
Keep kicking that can. Keep kicking
it because you're going to kick it again and again and again.
So, Mark, you're right, 100%. It's a joke. It's a joke of a roster. I think the coach thinks it too, which means it's not going to be a great year. So, Catone's comments was presented by the Pats Nation, Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you're tuning in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We're going to have our season picks. Let's see how far they have fallen based on this roster. But when we come back, got to talk a little baseball. Yankees versus Red Sox is next.
Sundays are for football. And here in New England, that means it's the Pats Nation with Corso and Catone. Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. All right, let's get right to it. Yankees, Red Sox, go. Attaboy, Godzilla. Let him know. All right, so let's talk about Yankees first. Now, look it. In the wild card standing right now, they're a game and a half between each other, the Yankees and Red Sox. Okay, this thing's going to go down to the wire. But listen, Yankees 7-3 in the last 10. One, like I said, game and a half.
3 of those 4 losses were at home to the Red Sox.
Yes, they were. Okay,
out of 4 games.
Is that why then? Why are people so much less? Why are people so much more excited about Boston and so much less excited about New York?
Chris,
the expectation.
The Yankees, Chris, lost 7 games in a row to the Red Sox, 8 games in a row. Like, I don't think no one has any faith that if it's end up being Yankees, Red Sox in the wild card round and they got to come to Fenway. You said it last weekend. You said, Mark, we're not going to win. Boston will beat us. We're not going to beat this team.
Well, they've showed us nothing. They've showed the New Yorkers showed no ability to be in a game with that team. Yeah. They play stupid baseball, fundamentally poor. They can't hit in spots, the key spots they're not hitting. They're pitching the decisions on relief pitching and when to pull somebody, when to bring somebody in, how to use their relief. It's just been bad, especially against them.
And Chris, the only time it seems like we beat them is when if it's a game where we're hitting 3 and 4 home runs. We can't manufacture anything against their pitching. If it's a game that we hit 3 home runs or 4 home runs, okay, yeah, fine, we win. But we can't put together a 7, 8, 9 hit game to beat that team for whatever reason. And I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. The reason people are so excited about the Red Sox is because the Red Sox are getting starting pitching finally, Chris. If you look at the starting pitching the Red Sox have gotten in the last month, it's the type of starting pitching you need to make a run in the playoffs. Now, the bullpen for the Red Sox, the middle relief, is still a problem. If you can get to their bullpen by the sixth inning, you can't let them get to the seventh because they got the eighth and ninth. They got a good setup man and Chapman. I want to know, and I'm going to put it out there. I don't care. Let them call me. Let them call me. I don't care. What kind of performance-enhancing drugs did he take in the offseason? Oh, what are you going to tell me? He drank from the fountain of youth? Chris, he's pitching like he did 15 years ago.
That's skipping 100, over 100. I mean,
Chris, it's physically impossible to do what he's doing.
It's like Clemens. They remember when Clemens all of a sudden came up with Toronto and was like...
It was like he was 25 again, right? Listen, and I don't have a problem with it. Everybody's doing it. But the league is so hypocritical. Like, they want to make it seem like, no, we don't condone that. I know we're keeping guys out of the Hall of Fame for that. Okay, bullshit. Look at this guy. You don't think he did something? He's on the mound every night. You don't think he did something to rejuvenate himself? Come on. Irregardless of that, Chris, the Red Sox are getting timely hitting, but they're getting starting pitching. The starting pitching and their closer right now is probably the best in baseball. So they have a formula. If they stay healthy, Boston, and I hate to say it, Chris, they could make a run in the playoffs because the American League stinks. Let's just call it the American League the way it is, Chris. It stinks. The American League, it's a bad year for the American League.
Is.
You know?
It is bad. It was such a stark contrast. You know, I mean, I listen to Yankee baseball and then I hear this.
Ball center field, that should do it. Eaton's underneath. He's there.
The excitement, enthusiasm.
And the Red Sox finish off a 4-game sweep here in Baltimore. They win it 3-2. They go 7-1 on the trip. They are 15 over 500. Lose since the 1st of July. They are 33-16, the best record in the American League.
Well, on this trip here, there's a lot of close games. You end up going 7-1 because you're making big defensive plays, base running plays, obviously big hits at the plate. 2 or 3 months ago, this 7-1 trip easily was 4-4. You just started giving games away. Now all of a sudden you're pulling games out. This is an impressive road trip here for this team as they head home.
And that's the call, Nesson call on when they beat Baltimore earlier in the week for the sweep. And listen, again, it's just a different feeling with this team. And Mark, that's one of the big thing about the Red Sox right now is they've seemed to have cleaned up their road woes. I mean, they couldn't win on the road; they could only win at home, and their record's still bad. But that's due to earlier what happened. But right now, they're putting it all together. And for as much crap as we've given Cora. I mean, he's still making some bonehead decisions out there.
They still left the other night against Baltimore. They beat Baltimore. And let's just call it spade a spade. Baltimore's a bad team.
They are a bad team.
Okay. But the other night, Chris, the Red Sox beat them. The Red Sox left 12 guys on base.
Do you realize?
You're not going to get into the playoffs and play a team like Detroit and leave 12 guys on base and win a playoff game either. Let's just put that out there. You left 12 guys on base against a bad team. That's why you beat them. So, you know what I mean?
The two things I'll say on this is this. Look, did you realize right now, and you said it, starting pitching, they're 5th best right now. There's an ERA in Major League Baseball starting pitching right now. Okay? That's hitting it at a nice time. Roman Anthony is saved hitting-wise. Can you imagine what they would be like with Devers still here?
Well, everyone's saying they wouldn't be doing this, Chris, because of the chemistry, because Devers was a bad seed in the locker room.
Do you buy that?
I don't know, Chris. The way they've been playing, maybe.
That's an owner. That's them saying oh no, don't look over here. Look over here. Don't look over here. Don't look at the fact that we're cheap bastards. Look over here.
Okay.
Now, can you imagine what that lineup would look like?
Yeah. Listen,
with Devers sitting there.
Yeah. One quick thing, Chris. Though, as bad as New York has played, I know we're against it. As bad as New York's been playing, as bad as they've looked, we both don't think they're going anywhere. We think they're going to get knocked out of the first round of the playoffs. If Garrett Cole is healthy, he's good for 12 to 14 more. Yeah. They probably got 12, 14 more wins. And guess what? They're in first place.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, injuries really hurt this team.
Even with them playing bad. So
injuries and bad managing really hurt this
Yes.
New York team.
Yep.
So we'll see how it plays out at the stretch. We'll have it all here, but Corso and Catone was presented by the Pats Nation, Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, I told you, we're going to have our final season picks and so much more. And don't forget, we will have our Patriots post-game show, the only Patriots post-game show worth watching, 30 minutes following the Patriots Week 2 matchup against the Dolphins on September 14th. So make sure you're sticking around for that on YouTube and other outlets. And come back next weekend to this show. We're going to have more Patriots talk, including our first look at that Patriots-Raiders game, Mark. And we're going to have Catone's comments, Yankees, Red Sox, anything you bring to the table. We will be ready. We are Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. See you next Saturday.
Now find Corso and Catone on AM 790, The Score, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you podcast. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch the chaos every Saturday at noon.